Welcome back to Nerd Thug Radio. We're sitting here with Austin Ford, drag race extraordinaire. We ended the last segment talking about your car.
I think you forgot an R in that.
The intro to this segment
Better,
was
right?
way better than the
Yeah,
last
it just takes me time to get going.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm a long distance runner, unlike Cory, who's like one pump jump.
one.
What are we-
One
what?
step.
One step.
One
Yeah.
step.
I don't know why pumps came into this race all of a
One
sudden.
pump jump.
What kind of running are
one
you
chop
doing
pump.
in pumps?
Oh, you don't even know.
I don't. I have many questions.
So this car. So like NASCAR, for instance, like they give them just like a shell and then they put all the other stuff in there. Is it the same concept or they just kind of let you do whatever?
You can build one like that. Mine is an original car, so they only make 50 of them every couple of years, and I have number 25 of 50 from 2016.
Okay,
So
very cool.
they're going to make some more up here pretty soon, but mine actually came to me
Ripped and ready to go.
ready to go down the track. In theory, you got to do
Okay.
a lot of stuff to them
Right,
still,
right.
but yeah.
Put gas in it,
Well, yeah.
oil, put the
Well,
easy tag up.
Like in NASCAR, they give them all just the shell, and then they add the engine, and they do all the other.
Right.
Stuff to it.
But then, like in the stock cars, those are actual. You have to drive a version that was sold.
Yeah,
out
I
of
mean,
the factory.
those cars, they have to have like an original engine combination. You can't just put something crazy in it. I mean, they got to be pretty original.
And that's part of the strategy of driving the Shelby, right? Was the multiple.
Yeah, there's a lot of options with those things. So it's
Like options.
How,
Yeah.
how impressed were you with that element of car knowledge from me, of all people?
I try not to be impressed with anything that you do.
That's fair.
Nailed it.
So, Bruce, tell me about all those wonderful toys you've got there. How do you afford them?
We definitely have to have sponsors. Like in order to do it the way that I do it, like traveling around all over the place, you either have to be Bruce Wayne or you have to have sponsors. So we have some really great sponsors. My main sponsor is actually a school called samtech.edu.
Nice.
School of Automotive Machinists
Huh?
and Technology.
Hey.
Hey, technology
There you go.
The future.
I figured you'd like
is
that.
now.
But they teach students how to build racing engines. So it's perfect for obviously drag racing and stuff.
So,
what
are
I
you
do,
like
but
their final project?
I hope not.
Do you have to do like teaching?
No,
You show
I
up
don't.
and like.
There's
"Hi,
no way
I'm
anyone
Austin.
would let me in a
Let me
classroom.
tell you about.
No.
Let me tell you about me driving your engine.
No, there's
No appearances.
no. But the students come out to the track. They actually work on the cars. A guy that went to school, he's a student there. His name's Travis. Shout out to Travis.
Hey, Trav.
Hey, Travis.
He is crew chiefing my car, so he does a lot of work on the car itself. And yeah, man, it's really awesome. The students get to interact with everything.
So that's a really hands-on
Yeah,
experience
and they're
for
not
them.
just in drag racing. They do a lot of other forms of motorsports and everything like that. So it's really cool. So if there's anybody out there that wants to learn how to work on performance race cars, not, the Ford dealership or whatever it is, that's the place to go, samtech.edu, because they're awesome. But we have sixshades.com by Eddie Bauer Jr., really cool shades.
Shades.
Lupe Tortilla.
That's
That
the
is-
big one. That's the important one.
Yes.
That I figured you would like that.
That's the one that keeps you fed.
Enchiladas.
Yeah, that's great.
So it's just like nothing but like bean and cheese enchiladas at your house all day, every day, right?
No, fajitas.
Oh, fajitas. Okay. All right.
Fajitas.
Beef fajitas.
They got the lemon lime kind of situation.
Man, I
with
really
fajitas.
wish Nico was here to
so
say
good.
all these
Fajitas.
words. Yeah.
Fajitas.
Fajitas. Tamales.
But we also have Mickey Thompson tires. They hooked me up on tires. Tires are really important.
I
So you
bet.
got to have some good tires.
Oh, I
Mickey
bet.
Thompson is the best. They're awesome.
I bet you could spend a lot of money just on tires.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can. You can. And then
I spend money on tires,
I
and
know.
like every time I do it, I'm always like, oh. So there's no way it's fun to do it like
Right.
when you purposely drive fast,
Uh-huh.
burning tires.
Right.
but we also do some stuff with the Rod Ryan show, which
Okay.
kind of helps us get some good
Some
PR.
exposure and-
Yeah, exposure and things like that. Which, by the way, I mentioned this the other day. How was I on the Rod Ryan show before your show?
He's more famous than we are.
Well, so I just
How does that happen? I was on a real radio show first
When you
before
actually-
this one.
when you went on the Rod Ryan show, we had actually just come into this nice studio, and before we were in the studio, we're doing this at his house at like midnight, at like weird times on a pool table. We had actually talked about trying to have more guests back then,
We're
but
like,
it was
you know
like
what? Maybe we should wait till we get a legit setup.
we didn't want people to know how homeless this whole thing was at the time. So once we got set up, though, you had already been on Rod Ryan at that point, and I was like, well, he probably won't want to do a fake show after doing that. By the way, thanks for hooking me up with Phyllis. That was cool. Good friend of yours. Me.
I like Phyllis a lot, but
That's why he didn't hook you up with
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, right.
I think you're seeing a connection here.
Jerk.
Hey, you had your shot. Your one shot. Mom spaghetti.
I did.
You blew it.
I didn't blow it. She was just there with her mom and didn't really want to talk to a guy.
You blew
So,
That's the reason.
Yeah.
you know, hey, I laid out my A game.
You blew it. That was your A game.
Yeah, I just unzipped. And I was just like, hello.
Oh, boy.
Hello.
Oh, boy.
That's not my
So,
A
next,
game.
any
That's
other
terrible.
Uh,
sponsors?
well, Ford helped us out a lot.
Obviously.
They continue to help us out. Yeah, I mean, it's
So how hard or easy was that relationship for you, considering you're the Ford family and they're Ford Automotive Racing?
it kind of stumbled upon me.
I'd say so.
Someone walked up to me and said, I'm going to sponsor you. You,
Yeah.
you look cool. What's
No.
your last name? Ford.
No,
Oh,
they just-
my God. This is great.
Yeah, no, they're just. It's good to have connections. You know what I mean? That's mainly what my relationship with Ford is. They're just a lot of help getting things done for me, especially. So yeah, we have awesome sponsors, and that's the reason I'm able to do what I do.
And old man Charlie Ford, he's a bit of a legend, right? So that kind of
Yeah,
opened some doors.
Yeah, of course, man. He's the one that got us into it, you know. And he was so good back in like the '80s, especially.
Yeah, I didn't know
And-
this, that like
yeah.
your dad was like a legend. I
Very
found this out
good.
much later because he tells the worst stories,
Who's
and I
that?
was his dad. He talked about a golf store one time. And he's on the fly.
Oh,
on
dude,
the
my dad
fly.
has the best stories.
And so he's telling the story, and I was going to tease him about it. And somebody before I could bring up what I was going to say, someone else was like, because we were at one of the racetracks. I was like, man, I just wanted to come say hi and meet Charlie Ford. And in my head, I was like, what?
Who
Just
are you?
what? Like, you don't meet old people where you live? Like, what is going on here? But it turns out your dad's kind of a big deal, huh?
Well, you've got some crazy stories, too. So, like, your grandkids are going to have some cool stories. Like, what's the craziest moment you've been involved in, like, with you and just other celebrities that you never thought was possible?
Oh my goodness, celebrities wise.
Just a crazy story.
Oh, dude.
Let's top Charlie Ford right here.
Let's top Charlie Ford.
Let's top
Crazy-
Charlie Ford right here.
All right,
I would
Charlie
say-
Ford got down is when you hear the stories.
Here we go.
I would say probably, maybe even fairly recently, Super Bowl weekend, when they had all the parties and stuff here. It turns out that I had met the Chainsmokers before and barely remembered it.
Good story.
I
No,
won't,
I
I
always
won't say
say-
why. Family show. Won't say why.
I always say though that any of us can meet the Chainsmokers and never know it
Right.
because it's just like two white dudes, right? Like, could you
Yeah.
pick them out of a lineup? Like,
I think the
Not
weirdest
now.
the weirdest thing to me was the fact that so I had brushed by to meet one of the owners of this club that I was at and was like basically chest to chest with one of the guys, Alec, and I was like, oh man, how you doing, man? He's like, yeah, man, I was trying to say hi to you, but you went right by me. It's like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm Austin. He's like, yeah, I know. Okay. So he's like, hey, you know, our table's right behind me. Let's hang out and stuff. And so he introduced me. He's like, hey, this is my buddy Austin. He's a race car driver. And I was like, what is going on right now?
If I could only time travel
Yeah.
to figure this out.
Yeah. And so, anyways, we ended up hanging out. And by the end of the night, I ended up seeing another buddy of mine. I was like, hey, did you see me hanging out with the Chainsmokers all night? And he said, yeah, dude, you've met them before. I was like, what?
What?
He said, yeah. He said, how good of a time did you have to where you don't remember meeting them, but they remember meeting you?
yeah,
I don't know.
That's
I don't know.
That is like my secret deepest fear is like famous people remembering me and me not remember meeting them. That can only mean like only terrible things have happened.
But I mean, being in racing I've gotten to meet a lot of different people and hang out with a lot of different people. You know, like another one of my good buddies played for the Rockets.
Right.
He's in China right now. Shout out Demo. What's up, buddy?
Oh.
But
What team is he on now?
some kind of Chinese.
Not
team.
the Shanghai?
Shandong
Sharks.
Golden Knights or something. I don't even know.
I was gonna say Gophers.
I don't know. That seems appropriate.
Shandong Gophers?
Seems
I was gonna say the
appropriate.
Gophers.
Sounds about right. Sounds good. Let's roll with it. Dude, the Chainsmokers are really good, though. Like we went and saw them at the rodeo, and
Your daughter's oddly a fan.
yeah, she loves the Chainsmokers.
Mine is too. My daughter is too.
So we took her
They're awesome.
for when they're at the rodeo, and I was, it's an EDM show. You're at the livestock show and rodeo. So this place is going to be dead. The whole place was packed, and like 10 minutes in, the entire stadium is standing up, like old people, young people, and everyone's just dancing. I was like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
To me, the weirdest one that had a great fan reaction that was weird was Kiss.
No, that doesn't surprise me.
That when I went to Kiss, I didn't know what to expect, considering they're at this point
80,
60, 70 years old.
Right.
They do like they're full on, and I know that they've always been known for like the pyrotechnics
right.
and all that. They do a full on version of that in the 40-minute rodeo version that they do, where like the cannons shoot off as lyrics to songs and things like that. Like they've substituted in "I Want to Rock and Roll All Night Long and Party Every Day." One of the words in the line is now one of the cannons.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I want to boom, boom all night. And like there's just cannons going off.
Dun, 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 dun,
And
dun.
then they still do like the fire on the end of the guitars and all that. And you're sitting there watching like, they're going to take wheelchairs to get off like the stage.
Not old Gene.
Not old
Performers, man.
Also, they sounded like at this point old New Jersey Jew guy because he was like, I wasn't sure what town we were on when we got off the plane, but then I saw the beautiful women and I knew we were in Houston. And I was like, you just didn't know where you were because you're 70 years old.
Was a perfect Gene Simmons.
No, it was the other guy.
Spot on.
It was Ace.
Spot freaking on.
It was Ace Frehley, whoever it is.
Whoever it was, you nailed it.
Thank you.
You straight up nailed it.
But it felt very like, eat your vegetables. Like, it was like, you are this
I don't
old
want
now.
to eat. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
We're going to Luby's.
Let's go to Luby's right now. Where am I going to put the... Remember that I was telling you the story of the old Jewish people we were at Disney last year? Man, that was the greatest day ever. Let's take a break, though. Let's jump out. When we come back, Austin's going to hang out. We're going to get into our weekly top 3.
Oh, yeah.
Stay tuned.